Elena. Sorry you're not with us. We are discussing our agenda. Our agenda is, we have a triple homework thing. It's a handout from Chapter 9 test, and that is due tomorrow. So hopefully you've got some attention to it. If not, it's not the end of the world. You can still complete it. Did you?
We have papers due every day this week and our thesis due at the end of it.
And we had a 3-page paper that was due today.
And we have a 2-page paper due
Alright, well,
Wednesday and one due Thursday and one due Friday.
Stat homework to add to the file, so, but this one we do have to conclude. So can you work together on it, maybe during your next class?
We
already have other things to work on.
We're supposed to be doing together too, and all.
Okay, well, it's your choice. I can give it to Wednesday if that helps.
No.
Does that help?
Wait, what? To give it to us one day instead of today?
No. Give us
I can extend
Oh.
my.
That would be helpful.
Alright,
Yeah.
I don't mind. So you can change the due date for mine.
If you still
Handout, Chapter 9, worksheet, you can work together, whatever, get the answers in and hand it in on Wednesday at the latest. Or any time before.
Thank you. Thank
you
you
so much.
You're
Why did
welcome.
you say no when she said that?
Alright.
Because that was my answer. She asked, that's
You can
nice.
still do it tonight.
You can still do it tonight, but
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, do it tonight.
She asked if that would help, and to me I said, you guys would say yes.
Alright. Go on, find this sheet. It is a stapled sheet with day 1 on it. We're going to combine everything like we're in warp speed here. So I'm going to cover the stuff that's most important well, but I'm going to combine it. So where it says day 1 on this handout we were looking at, you can put /2/3. We're going to do all 3 days in one. So you can see where it says objectives, you can add where the little dot is, a bullet is that called, or it's called a dot. Test for P1 minus P2 and confidence interval. Because we're going to cover all that in this one handout because they're so similar.
Wait, what?
This is the topic at the top. See where we changed day 1 to 2 and 3. We're going to add two topics. Confidence interval. They're so similar. I'm going to that's why I'm putting them all in one instead of spreading it out. So this one handout will cover all of 10.1. What we've changed from is one samples to 2 samples. So that's the big deal. And you can see that it wasn't that big of a deal. We were able to get through some of the first example. So we had established that you're going to have to check. On this one, it's not a test. They were just discussing socks without the outliers. And we've gone through that. And then we had discussed how to find out if it was normal. Could you review that for me, Bailey, without me writing it down?
It's normal if n1 times p1 is greater than 10.
Or?
N times 1 minus p, or n1.
Yeah, not
p
or, it's
minus-
and. Yeah. Go ahead, and. I said or, but I should have said and.
Okay. n1 times 1 minus p1 is greater than 10.
And?
n2 times p1 is greater than 10.
And?
n2 times 1 minus p2.
Right, all of those have to be greater than or equal to 10. So, Julia, what did we decide about the center? How do you find the center when there's 2 samples?
Is this the equation?
Just the center?
That's p1 minus p2.
P1 minus P2. And Caleb, what did we do for the spread? That was different. So our normal was similar, so I'll check that out. Center was similar, but standard deviation was a little different, so I'll write that one out. What was it, Caleb?
Standard deviation of p hat 1 minus p hat 2 is the square root of, here we go. Oh, you're writing it already. Yeah, that.
Well, it's not P hat though, was it?
Well, is P hat? No, not in the middle,
Oh, not in the middle, right.
but on the end of the standard deviation it says P hat 1 minus P hat 2.
Was it P hat?
That's what.
Yeah, that's what you told
That's what you
us.
told
It
us.
should be, I guess, because if you're doing the problem, you don't know P, right?
Well,
Let me just check.
is it P
sure.
hat
Hold on.
throughout the whole thing?
I think it should be. Let me check, just to make sure.
We hadn't said
now,
P.
it's not making sense to be just P. 'Cause
We've been-
we wouldn't know that, right?
We've been saying P the whole time with the NP and N1 minus
That's
P
true, I was. So maybe you're right.
and center
I
P1 minus
just
2.
kind of fogged out.
So it should all be P?
I'm looking. No, it's just P. This is what he said. This, I thought you said P hat.
No, but on the outside when it's a standardization of
Yeah,
P.
that's true.
That stays.
Yeah. Alright, that stays. Alright. Did your notes agree with that? Alright, onward then. We started an example, and there were 2 schools. They were wondering who did their homework last night. And one school knew the proportion, and the other knew the proportion. So they claimed they knew the proportion. So we're not really conducting a specific test. We're just messing with the information to see if it makes sense. When we took our samples, the difference between the 2 proportions in the schools, the counselors found that the difference in the homework between school 1 and school 2 was 0.1. So they asked us to describe the shape, center, and spread. So Allie, how far did we get?
We said, I only have written down that we did nothing. That
That we did
we went
what?
to shape, we did shape.
And we did shape, and what
But we
did we
didn't.
say? We checked all those off?
I'm pretty sure we checked them off. I have it written down and said we checked them off.
Alright, so we checked all 4 conditions, so it is approximately normal. Alright, so Allie, did we get to center yet?
I think we were in the middle of doing
Okay,
something.
let's pick it up there.
I think, no, we did
Oh, wait,
center,
we
we
had-
had in the middle of doing
no,
the
no.
last
Alright,
one.
so Julia, what's the center?
Only one?
Pardon? What is it?
Wait, up there you have the same thing. Oh, you have P hat.
Yeah, this is when they took a sample. So the counselor from the first school took a sample, and the counselor from the second school took a sample, and they subtracted the 2. They didn't tell us what the P hats were. They just told us the difference. But
Okay.
now, we're looking for the shape of P hat minus P hat 2. And that is, the mean that you just told us was P1 minus P2, the real proportions.
Okay, yeah,
So-
I don't remember us finding the real person.
Okay, well, what are they? Can you look up and see? What was the school one? How many did their homework in school 1? What proportion?
I thought we did this one.
I think we did that.
I just have the P hat one written down.
I remember
center
doing
and
this, I just don't
most
have it
of
written.
Or all of spread. Maybe it's just I did it
Later?
later.
Or maybe you were ahead of us or
But I
something.
have part of
I remember
spread, but
doing it,
don't have
but I just don't have
What's that?
it written down.
Yeah, it looks like we did get past that. But where's here it is. But that's not right. It's P hat.
That's what you have written on the board,
Really?
right there, P hat 1 minus P
Oh
hat 2.
yeah, but see, the
one.
center is not P hat, it's
Right,
P.
so I don't have the center, I
Alright.
just have that.
Alright, so the center is, what's the proportion? The first school claimed it was 0.7. And do you see where I got that, Julia? 70%. And what's the second one? I don't know, 50. I see it, 0.5, you see? So that's not a sample, that's what they claimed the whole population in the school did their homework last night. And so we got a 0.2. Did you have that down, Bailey, from Friday? Okay. I think this is where we were. We were starting to develop the standard deviation. So the standard deviation for the sampling between the 2, P hat 1 and P hat 2, is going to follow this formula. So Caleb, tell me what numbers to put in here for that. You're following this. So this is general, this is our example 1.
So 0.7 times 0.3.
Right? over, what, do you remember how many?
N is 100.
100, okay, then what?
0.5 times 0.5, so just 0.25
That's right.
over 200.
Alright, did we calculate that? Anyone calculate
Bailey did
that?
apparently.
Bailey, what you got?
Five.
0.018? 0.058.
For the whole
Alright.
thing.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So there we are. So in addition, describe the shape centers and standard deviation spread. So that's part A. Part B, they want to know what's the probability that this probability of P1 hat minus P2 hat is, what's the probability that that difference would be less than, let's see, find the probability of setting a difference in sample proportions P hat 1 minus P hat 2 of 0.1 or less from the two surveys. Alright, so they want the probability that P hat 1 minus P hat 2 is less than or equal to 0.1. So let's see what the probability of that happening is. Is ours less than 0.1? It is. So it'd be interesting to see what's the probability of that. This is not a normal test. This is just a discussion of this problem. Someone just pulled that 0.1 out of the hat. It's not connected to anything. So let's remind ourselves how to use chart A to find this probability. This is old school stuff. Remember, you take a value minus the mean divided by the standard deviation, and that's how you get the z-score and go to chart A. So in this one, we are going to take, what's going to take the x value? It's the value that we're investigating, 0.1. What's the mean?
0.2.
0.2 divided by 0.058. So we can quickly get the z-score by looking at that. And then I'll try to guide you on the calculator how to do it without the chart. This one comes out to, anyone tap that out yet?
Negative 1.72.
Negative 1.72. And now you go to chart A. And we want to know less than. The chart does give us less than. Yay for once.
1.73.
The chart gave us less than. So what's the probability of that
Because
happening?
I used
0.724.
I got 0.727. I used a bigger number. I used a.
You use your
I
calculator?
didn't round. Yeah, I rounded. I didn't round it the same way.
Okay, well, does your let's use chart A first and then I'll tell you how to do it on the calculator.
No, I was just saying I got 0.73. 1.73. It's not that big of a difference.
Alright, that's close enough. Alright, flip back to chart A and
I
find this
calculated
number
myself
on
if I
it.
did what she did.
Chart A, Julia, chart A. Anyone besides Bailey want to take the test? Miss Sean has to know, like right now, you have to march out and tell her.
I can't say without my parents never gave me an answer whether I could or not. So
So you would take it if you could?
I mean, could I? I mean, if I called my mom right now, she'd probably still say I don't know.
Really?
So
Alright, well, she's got to order the test.
could I?
You could say, I don't know means no, is that okay?
But I want to.
Then say, I don't know means yes, is that okay?
Alright, I'll tell Miss Sean what you
Wait,
said.
what?
Alright, what are you getting on chart A? This is a z-score, so you look down the column. 0.0427, anyone else get that?
By now, did you mean today or like right now?
I think today.
So like at lunch?
Yeah, can you talk to her maybe? 0.0427.
Yeah.
Alright, it's been confirmed. So, that is 4% chance of having this happen. Does that make you kind of wonder? Remember, we didn't set this up like a test, like H sub O and H sub A, a null hypothesis and alternative. We didn't. We're just discussing this. We're looking at the shape, center, and spread, and we're looking at the probability someone wanted to know. What's the probability of this happening, this difference being less than 0.1? We got 0.058. Oh, no we didn't. We got 0.1. What's the probability of getting that or less? And the answer was